Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about some incredibly useful functions which are Sumif, Countif, Sumifs and Countifs. Countif is used for counting cells based on single condition while Countifs allow you to count cells with multiple conditions. Later as we progress in the video, we will see how and when to use them with examples. Now let's look at the syntax of Countif and Countifs. The syntax for Countif starts with equal to and then the term Countif and then open bracket, and the first value is the range of cells you want to count and the second value will be the criteria you want to apply for counting. The syntax for Countifs starts with equal to and then the term Countifs and then range 1, the first range of cells that you want to apply the first criteria to, and then criteria 1, the criteria to apply to range 1. You can include additional pairs of ranges and criteria by extending the pattern. Range 2 and criteria 2, the second range of cells and its corresponding criteria. You can continue this pattern for as many ranges and criteria as needed. Now, let's look at Sumif and Sumifs. Sumif function adds up values in a range that meet a single specified condition, whereas Sumifs allow you to specify multiple criteria for conditional summation. Now, let's look at the syntax of Sumif and Sumifs. The syntax for Sumif starts with equal to and then the term Sumif and then open bracket, and the first value is the range of cells you want to apply the criteria to, and the second value will be the criteria you want to apply for summation, and the last value will be the range of cells you want to sum if the criteria is met. The syntax for Sumif starts with equal to and then the term Sumifs and then open bracket, and then the first value is the range of cells you want to sum if all the criteria are matched, and then the second value will be the range of cells you want to apply the criteria, which is followed by the criteria, and in this pattern of range and its respective criteria will continue for the number of criteria you want to put for this statement. We will have a better idea of how to use these formulas in the upcoming examples. This is a dataset which contains the name of few students and their respective marks and their final percentages. Now, what if we come across a question like, find the total number of students who got more than 70% marks in final? The condition here is that we have to only consider the students who have scored more than 70% in their final marks. So select here, write equal to, then Countif, open bracket. It's asking for the range. So the range here is the final percentage. So let's select final percentage, then comma, and then it's asking for the criteria. The criteria here is that more than 70%. So we can either select this or we can write greater than 70, close the bracket and press enter. And you can see that there are 4 students who have got more than 70% in the final exam. You can also see them manually. This is one student, this is the second student, this is the third, and this is the fourth. Now, what if we come across the question like find the total number of male students who have got more than 70% marks in final? Now we have two conditions, that is, the first condition is that the student has to be a male, and the second condition is that the marks should be more than 70% in final. So how can we do it? In situations like this, we have to use Countifs because there are multiple conditions. So write equal to Countifs, open bracket. The first criteria range. So the first criteria range is the gender. So select the gender column. Then comma. So what is the criteria? The criteria has to be male. So let's select male here. Comma. Then the criteria 2. The criteria 2 is that the final percentage mark should be more than 70. So select the final percentage column. Comma. And then greater than 70. Close the bracket and press enter. And you can see that out of all the 4 students who have got more than 70%, only 2 students are male, which is this student and the other one is this student. So that's how you can use Countif and Countifs in Excel. Now let's look at how to use Sumif and Sumifs in Excel. This is a dataset which contains the name of restaurants, the country code, the city in which they are located in, the price range, the aggregate rating, and the number of feedback. So the first question here is, find the total number of feedbacks for the restaurant Fuzzy Cafe. So the condition here is that the restaurant name should be Fuzzy Cafe and we have to find the total number of feedbacks for it. So we will use SUMIF because there is only one condition. So write equal to SUMIF, open bracket. It's asking for the range. So the range in which we are going to apply the criteria is the name of restaurant. So let's select the restaurant name column, comma. The criteria should be that the restaurant name should be Fuzzy Cafe. So let's select Fuzzy Cafe, comma. The sum range. We want to find the sum of feedback. So let's select the column feedback. Close the bracket and press enter. So now we can see that in this dataset for the restaurant Fuzzy Cafe, there's a total of this many numbers of feedback. Now, what if the question is that find the total number of feedback for the restaurant Cafe Coffee in the following cities? So for the first value, you have to see that there are two conditions. First, the restaurant name should be Cafe Coffee, and the second, that it should be in the city Noida. So how can we do it? In this scenario, we will have to use SUMIFs because there are two conditions. So write equal to SUMIFs, open bracket. It's asking for the sum range. So what is the sum range here? We are finding the sum of feedbacks. So let's select the feedback column, comma. The criteria range 1. The criteria range 1 is that the restaurant name should be Cafe Coffee. So let's select restaurant name, comma. The criteria should be that the restaurant name is Cafe Coffee. So select Cafe Coffee, comma. And then criteria range 2. The criteria range 2 is that the city should be Noida. So let's first select the city column and then apply the criteria, that is the city name should be Noida. So select Noida, close the bracket and press enter. So you can see that in this dataset for the restaurant Cafe Coffee in city Noida, the total number of feedbacks is 291. Now if you want to find it for Ghaziabad, we can again repeat the same process. Write equal to SUMIFs, open bracket, the sum range. The sum range will be the feedback column, comma. The criteria range 1. The restaurant name should be Cafe Coffee. So first select the restaurant name column, then apply the criteria, that is Cafe Coffee, comma. The criteria range 2. The criteria range 2 is that the city should be Ghaziabad. So select city, comma, select Ghaziabad. Close the bracket and press enter. Similarly, if you just double click, it will fill in for the rest of the values. So that's how you can use SUMIF and SUMIFs in Excel. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell for notification. Stay tuned for more content and I'll catch you in the next one. See you.